So, you want to run Lost Mines of Phandelver, but it's not available anymore. Hold on. Oh. Okay. So, you want to run Phandelver and Below, the Shattered Obelisk, but don't have time to read the book or never learned to read in the first place. Well, then let me explain it as quick as I can. Spoilers, obviously. Introduction. The first half of this book is a reprint of the starter set adventure Wizards of the Coast made 10 years ago, with a few new maps and a few new pieces of art and a few more strange design decisions. The second half is about uncovering and then stopping a mind flayer plot to turn the small frontier town of Phandalin into the center of a new Illithid empire. I would have recommended the big city of Neverwinter down the road as the birthplace of empire, but maybe these mind flayers want to start a small artisanal empire, then work up to global superpower. Chapter 1: Dangerous Journey. A long time ago, dwarves and gnomes were mining in a nice cave. Humans showed up and made some cool items from the cave's vague magic power. Then bandits showed up and made everyone dead. Also, they collapsed the cave and died in the collapse. 3 dwarven brothers didn't really like that part with the bandits, so they hired the player characters to help them start mining in the nice cave again. The villain, formerly known as the Black Spider, tracked down these brothers and kidnapped them so he alone can mine in the nice cave. Which is all lovely backstory, but the player characters are currently focused on 2 very alive horses and surviving a goblin ambush. If the party defeats the goblins, they can follow fleeing goblins back to Cragmaw Hideout, where the party will be immediately killed because someone thought adding more enemies to the level 1 dungeon for first-time players was a good idea. If the party somehow survives the hideout, they can collect some stolen goods, free Sildar, and continue their journey to Phandalin. Chapter 2: Trouble in Phandalin. Welcome to Phandalin, a frontier town with subterranean bandits and subterranean eldritch beings preparing to make the town into a wet and wiggly pile of goop. The party won't meet the eldritch beings for at least 4 chapters, but they will meet a bunch of the townsfolk in this chapter, including the merchants with quests the party has already completed, the retired adventurer that has nothing to do with the rest of the adventure, the government official without an official government, the miner that wants to be a major criminal, the faithful acolyte that has lost faith in the town, and the farmer that has all the adventure information. The party can also fight those subterranean bandits and confront their leader, Glassstaff, who is either named after his staff or the staff created him, giving him a human form but a name that would forever remind him of the circumstances of his birth. Oh, my bad. I thought it would be indestructible because it's like a magic item. So he doesn't get to hold the magic items anymore. Once the bandits have been dealt with, the party can set out into the wilderness to find the dwarven brothers that hired them. Well, at least Gundren. The other 2, they're probably fine. Chapter 3: The Spider's Web. This spider web has a few less interconnecting plots and locations than I think is legally necessary to call it a web. I think it could be recategorized as a spider point cloud or bubble chart, but I doubt the spiders could care enough to remark on the distinction. No matter where the party goes in this amorphous spider shapezoid though, they are bound to find some adventure. They could give a comb to a ghost so it can tell them about its overdue library book, or talk to Indiana Bones at an ancient watchtower, or enjoy being killed in Thundertree by a dragon and its very passive dragon fan club, or battle more bugbears to enter the modern art exhibit that foreshadows a future boss battle. If the party wants to advance the plot, they can go to Cragmaw Castle, battle goblins, hobgoblins, chicken. If the party wants to advance the plot, they can go to Cragmaw Castle, battle hobgoblins, goblins, kitchen goblins, noodle goblins, and tentacle beak goblins to retrieve Sildar's stuff and battle King Grawl face to face. I don't know who you are. I can say the same about you. And who is that? Oh, don't worry. My plot line is never going to be discussed or tied to anything else in this adventure. Just ignore me. Okay? I guess. If the party defeats this bugbear King of Kings, they can retrieve Gundren and his map to Wave Echo Cave. Or just the map if the spellcasters decided that this was a sacrifice they were willing to make. Chapter 4: Wave Echo Cave. Welcome to the big dungeon of the adventure. You'll be greeted by Thandrin's corpse at the entrance, so you know the bad guys mean business and are terrible at cleaning up. Now, it's time to battle jelly, zombies, ghouls, sturges, the fungus, and even more bugbears. If the party gets tired of combat, they can explore a sky full of stars, hazardous pool rooms, and an underground lake you would never enter if you have seen any cave diving disaster documentaries. Also, they can meet Mormesk, the well-dressed wraith. If the party gets through all of that, they can find a temple with the spider in it who is surrounded by bugbears instead of spiders. Bugbears! It's what's for dinner! If the party defeats the spider and avoid the trap that causes the rocks to fall and everyone to die, the party can finally find the Forge of Spells and get some magic items. Oh, and they can find Gundren's other brother, who is alive, so that's like 2 out of 3 brothers surviving the adventure. Not a bad average. Now that's the end of this adventure, and the book is totally okay with you ending the campaign right here and not using the second half of the book. I hope you didn't spend full retail price for this decade-old adventure. Chapter 5, Paths of Peril. Welcome to Phandelin. Again! A frontier town overrun by criminals that the party can track down to their hideout with the help of a friendly dwarf. No, you haven't done this part before. Look, the bugbears are gone, and they're green goblins now. It's different. Eventually, the party can track the goblins back to a dwarven excavation site. Okay, I know what you are thinking, but this one is different. It was attacked by orcs, not bandits, and now it has a badger mascot, a piss room hot spring, the lonesome dung eater, and a bunch of dead dwarves and skeletons. Okay, that last one isn't different, but this place has a sanctum instead of a temple and a floating goblin instead of a floating eye. Look, he's even got a crystal jammed into his head with voicemails from God that points us to the rest of the adventure. Sorry, not that one. Chapter 6, The Shattered Obelisk. It's time to collect some obelisk shards. Crystal Goblin was nice enough to leave a map lying around with the location of all the shards. If the party can't read your poorly photocopied map, Gwen will explain to them where to go. What a nice friend. It's good that they have so much history with her since she was the one that hired them at the start of this whole adventure. No, wait, that was Gundren. But don't think about that right now. We've got to save Pip. We're coming to save you, Pip! Oh, never mind. The cursed Mojin fell in a hole. The stairs are gone, Jim. Oh, Margaret, we're trapped. Guys, we can fly. It's okay, we'll just fly over the stairs. We can't. We can only fly in the flavorful art, not the mechanical stat block. Oh no. If the party saves Pip, stops the other kind of miner from being honey-potted by a shrub, and survive a cow having a bad trip on some cloves, Gwyn can point them to Talahundereth, another dwarven dungeon collapsed long ago. But this one was collapsed by mind flayers, not orcs or bandits, and no, these different invasions are not connected in some way, so tell the players to please stop trying to make sense of this. Now, in this dwarven ruin, the party can find an exotic pet owner, the best magic item in the game, anxiety main manifest, drow trying to get their father to leave a cult he joined after getting a scam phone call, pyramid nuggets with legs, deregulated water, and a crypt that the party will open because the rest of the adventure is in there and this is the only way in. Before they go down there though, they can go get an obelisk shard defended by more slander against McDonald's chicken nuggets. In the crypt of Talahund, the party can discover stains everywhere, hauntings that need some chores done, armor that looks so good the undead won't attack the wearer, a fantasy power couple intent on drowning everyone, a gnome looking for a book like people look for George R.R. Martin's Winds of Winter manuscript, and dwarves with amazing chests. The obelisk shards are unfortunately not in the rotating sanctum with the really cool art. Instead, it's where a wizard left it like a sweater forgotten at a friend's house. Then again, the shard is really heavy and most wizards I know only have 8 strength on a good day, so it might have been forgotten less like a sweater and more like a New Year's resolution. Next, the party's off to the Underdark for the final obelisk shard. If you're thinking, isn't the Underdark like super dangerous and the trip could be a campaign all on its own? Don't! Welcome to Gibbet Crossing, a subterranean town whose economy was based on torture cages and mithril before the Mind Flayer showed up and made the entire economy based on brains and slavery. I'm not sure how big of an industry torture cage production could have been, but maybe one of the Drow families brokered a lucrative cost-plus program with the Drow government that had really lax deliverable requirements and production accounting. While the party is auditing the cage program, they can find a book of roper illustrations which are purely in educational poses to depict anatomy and nothing else. Also, there's a cavern with 10-hour office background ambience playing, a room with my astigmatism, an introvert on vacation, and a mud tower that breathes. Past the tower is an obelisk shard, so the party needs to shrink that tower, either by learning its command word or making the tower snort ground-up statue, and then battling Quan Braxel, a villain that can monologue telepathically, so no matter how quickly the party starts combat, the DM can read that villainous dialogue they've been writing for weeks. Chapter 7, Rifts in Reality. Welcome to Phandalin. Again. A frontier town experiencing acute obelisk shard radiation sickness. Symptoms include violent outbursts, gangliness, and a hole in your basement. That's not a euphemism. Wheel of Fortune has a hole in their basement, which must be where the adventure is because nothing else is detailed. Down this thin, long, winding tunnel is a book with feet that is filled about, as far as my campaign planning document, a historian that faked his death and came down here and died, the social media formerly known as Twitter, and a cloaker using a skeleton less like a puppet and more like mouth jewelry. The tube deposits the party out into Illithinoc, the center of a once great Illithid empire. While looking for whatever Gwyn told the party would be important down here, they can drink some brain goo, find the spa, read some terrible diplomatic letters, watch a live dissection, walk in on Oshundo pondering his orb, and meet Grandpa in the swimming pool. To progress further, the party will need to open a far realm gateway by collecting orbs that bite from what appears to be my middle school's cafeteria, sex ed lesson, and art department after the budget cuts. Chapter 8. Beyond a Lightless Star. In case your party wants to just stop here and go home, please let them know that home, being Phandalin, is absolutely fucked. Anyway, welcome to the Briny Maze. This brain is full of tumors, music critics, a live reading of a meditation book, a room perfectly built to give people migraines, a beholder that would kill for a home, much like the rest of us, and a hidden room full of flumps. Oh, I love flumps. They must be protected at all costs. No, I don't feel this way just because I've been huffing these bubbles for a few hours. This is a perfectly normal way to react to seeing flumps in an adventure. Flumps. Where was I? I don't remember. Let's just get in the pool. This reminds me of Outer Wilds' Dark Bramble. Oh, this part is the same too. Welcome to the Endless Void, a vast expanse of drifting islands and background color swirl YouTube compression does not appreciate. Feel free to let the party fly around with their minds before making them wait days for the next adventure island to drift by. To avoid boredom, the party can find the journal of a wizard that thought so hard about being the best, he died. Geppetto their way through a whale throat, meet an Umber Hulk in respectful blackface, and finally find the island that actually matters. Here, in the anime, the party finally comes face to face with villains of this adventure. Goth E.T., Cthulhu on a vinyl record, and a mind flayer that has a pet decapitated head. This is also where you can come face to face with how bad your note-taking is, because it is vital you remember how many obelisk shards the party has and how many the villain has. These numbers are in your notes somewhere, but you probably ran that part of the adventure like 3 months ago, which means your notes are now gibberish. No matter the amount of obelisk shards, it's time for the final battle, which will mainly consist of the villains trying to deal with the backlash they're getting from the obelisk. After the mind flayers have their minds flayed, the party can collect all the townspeople that are glued to dome walls and stuck in tongueless statues and head back to Phandalin. No. The true final boss just appeared, brought the giant worm, and with one mind blast, turned the briny pool into the chunky briny soup. If the party survives and returns to Phandalin, they can find the town has returned to normal and is not deeply traumatized by watching their friends and family and cows become insane tentacle monsters and the buildings turn to goop. I mean, they're really happy to see you. And you even brought chunks of their loved ones. Honestly, at this point, after the bandit invasions, both old and new, goblin attacks, both in the early chapters and later ones, being horrifically transformed by mind flayers and getting attacked by a giant worm, both in a pool and here comes another one right now, I feel like the most heroic thing the party could do is move everyone in Phandalin out of Phandalin. P.S. The obelisk was made by gray aliens, so were all the obelisks in all these other adventures.